Hey everyone, this is Rachel, and I'm here for another episode of Lift and Sketch with Christy and Rachel. Today we are taking on this lovely layout from Missy Whidden, who is the queen of mixed media and silhouette cuts. So I'm going to be doing a version of this, not exactly the same one she did, but I will make sure to put a link to Christy's video below in the description box. So please make sure, once you've watched this video, that you head on over to her channel and check out her take on this lift. And if you're coming over from Christy's channel for the first time, hello and welcome, and I hope you enjoy my version of Missy's layout. So I do not have all the little photos she has. I have one 4x6 and then 5 2x3s. So as I said, this is going to be my take on her layout, not an exact replica. I'm also going to be working with the, oh shit, what's it called? Good Vibes line from Crepe Paper. Yeah, it's right there, literally right there. I got some of this as a gift from my friend Allison, and then I got some of the papers during Paper Issue's big paper sale, so it was a great, awesome thing. And then also adding to it, as part of what Allison sent me, were these Laura Ballora, which I believe was, maybe came out of Studio Calico. I'm not totally sure, but these puffy stickers, which I just thought were ridiculously cute. And then these puffy stickers, which are from Joy Parade by Fancy Pants, which are amazing. Joy Parade wasn't something I was looking for. Oh, and I also added these gold puffy stickers, because apparently I'm puffy sticker crazy. Wasn't something I was super interested in, but it totally goes with the Good Vibes line. The colors are very similar, and also with the words, I think they might work well with this particular layout because Missy did have several words throughout the layout. Alright folks, I'm going to get you put on fast forward. I'm going to get started with my layout, and let's get going. Alright, in a bit. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started, and I'm just going to go through all the papers. I know I'm going to have a white background because I'm going to be doing mixed media, and for me, a Missy Whidden layout normally has white cardstock as the base. It's just one of her things. So as I mentioned, I do have that one bigger photo. What I am going to do is, with those smaller photos, I am going to do the same technique as she did, doing strips of photos matted on some pattern paper. I am using this green and pink and aqua, almost Aztec-ish pattern from the Good Vibes collection. I'm going to mat all of my photos in that. Now, what I am going to do is try to use the least amount of paper because I just really like this line, and so I'm going to trim down my photos even smaller because it's just people standing, I believe, in the parking lot at the school, so it's not exactly scenic. So I just trim those down to the actual people, and that way I can fit it on this leftover piece of paper rather than starting a whole new row for two different ones rather than just the other one I'm going to do. So I'm going to do, so these are my 3 vertical small photos, and then I've got 2 horizontal small photos, and I'm just going to trim this up. And then I'm going to do the same, and of course at this point I do need to move to a new row, but I'm going to do the same. I'm going to trim up the extraneous portions of the photo because, same thing, it's just walls. And because I'm doing more of a film strip type thing, I don't feel like I'm enclosing it. You're not going to be able to see a ton of detail in photos this small anyways. It just helps tell the story. So you'll see one of those photos is a group shot, and the other one that's really dark, that's actually one I pulled off of Facebook. His school has a Facebook page, and they put up photos, and they had put up a photo of the dance. So this is his homecoming. So this is a cut file from my silhouette. It is just a font from my computer that I used the offset button and then welded them together, and then I used the offset button to create this. So it's the outline of the font, and then I kept I'm just trying to squish it down with my Kindle. Of course, I used the wrong side. So I'm just going to trim around it to make it easier to cut, and then I'm going to fussy cut around it with my little detailed scissors once I go back and add a little bit more glue. I will not lie, I did this a little bit backwards. I used too much glue, which then made it very difficult to cut apart, but I did save all the little bits that I pulled out, so I was able to glue those back in. And I'm going to fussy cut. I don't do that on screen because I have to fussy cut close to my body, but here it is completed. It took a little bit of time, I will not lie, but I'm happy with the way it turned out. I thought it turned out really cute. So this is going to be the basic construction of my layout. I'm going to do some mixed media now because, hello, if I'm lifting Missy Whidden, I gotta do some mixed media. I'm not gonna do thread, but I gotta do mixed media. So I'm starting off with the packaging technique with Jenny B Blue. And then I'm going to move on to Deep Blue Sea. And I have to remember that Deep Blue Sea does not like the packaging technique at all. I think my bottle is a little on the thicker side, so I need to either add a lot of water to it or not use it for the packaging technique. Luckily, the majority of that is going to be hidden under my photos. I then move on to Razzle Dazzleberry, and now this is, oh sugar, I think that is Pink Stilettos. I forgot to, I ended up grabbing a couple different colors, and so I spaced on what things actually are. That is Mango Tango, I know that for sure, it's one of my favorites. And then I'm going to finish off with, oh no, I'm going to move on to spattering, because the underneath of her photos, there's a lot of mixed media going on. So I'm going to spatter in Jenny B Blue, I'm going to spatter in Deep Blue Sea, I'm going to spatter with Velveteen Green, and then I'm going to decide, I'm not sure what, I realized I didn't add enough mixed media, so I'm just going to go back and spray some Jenny B Blue and some Mango Tango on the page, and then use a paper towel piece to just kind of soak it up. So once I get that all set, I'm going to add some more spatters just to kind of elongate what's behind the 4x6 photo. So I'm going to keep adding some more spatters, and once I complete this, I'm actually going to set it aside for a bit to dry. I just wanted to make sure it was completely dry because I do add a lot of different spatters in a lot of different colors. I believe that was Pink Stilettos, going back to a brighter pink color. And now I have moved on, and I'm just checking out, making sure everything works well, and I'm going to be putting the photos exactly like that. I'd actually started gluing, I glued down the title and the big photo, and then I realized, oh yeah, you know what, you never turned on the video, you dimwit. Okay, from the Good Vibes collection, these puffy words, I choose the word awesome, and now I'm thinking about choosing the word amazing, but then I'm like, nah, I don't want to choose two A words. And I don't know if you notice here, but I spelled the word fantastic wrong, which is hilarious. More hilarious, didn't notice until I watched this back. And also showed it to two different people. Neither one of them noticed, so I will go back and change it, but I was like, oh my gosh, that is not how you spell fantastic. Okay, good to go. Alright, moving on, from that same Joy Parade puffy stickers, I grab all these plus signs and then pink dots to complete that little look. And then I am moving on to the Good Vibes die cut pack, and I'm going to go through all of them because, as I mentioned, this is the first time I'm working with this line. Right away I decided I'm going to use that Hooray die cut. And then I find this elongated hexagon label, and I'm going to use that for my journaling. I also find this paper frame that I'm going to use, and then I find one more that I'm actually going to end up using, and that is that little, what looks like a double piece of washi tape, and I can't remember what the word says, and I can't read it in my little preview screen, so hopefully you guys can see it. You should be able to. So I put that Hooray right where I found it right ahead. I add the journaling spot, and then right underneath that I put that little die cut. And then I'm going to use the frame. I'm going to cut it in half, as you can obviously see, and place it to the left and to the right of my center of my layout. And I love the way that ends up looking. I think it just ends up really looking very cute. I'm just going to say again, make sure you head on over to Christy's channel and check out her take on this lift of Missy Whidden, and I will put a link to her page in the description box below. Alright, I did add that puffy sticker from the Laura Ballora, I can't remember her name now. And the last thing I'm going to do is some journaling. That is going to complete my layout for today. Thank you guys so much for joining me here. Have a great day, everyone, and goodbye.